Now, if you see the number of data here, in order to for us to construct a frequency distribution, the number of data is huge here, right? Lot of data is given, right? So what we do is we try to organize the data a little, and while organizing, we construct frequency distribution tables. How do we organize this data? Now you see, you have a quick look at the data. Okay, in order to determine how to organize the data, you have a quick look at the data and you determine the highest and the lowest values. What you see is the highest value in this data is 22 and the lowest value in this data is 22. Okay, so what you do is you take note of these two observations. Okay, so you say highest observation is 22, right, among all. And which is the lowest observation? Sorry, lowest observation is not 21. Lowest observation will be I think 1, right? Lowest observation is 1, right? So now what you do is you find out the range from this. What you do is highest observation, you subtract from the lowest observation, you get 20, right? Now this 20, we are going to group. And how are we going to group? You can group this from, let's say, 1 to 10, and then 11 to 20, and then 21 to 30. Can you do this? Can we do this? Because the range, the highest data is what? Highest data is 22. So 22 comes within this group, right? And the lowest is 1. So 1 will come here, isn't it? So I've categorized all the data will be grouped under all the in these three, right or wrong?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So 22 minus 1 would be 21.
Yes, 21. Okay, fine. 21. Okay. So whatever is the data, you can still classify the data within this because the range here is 21. So you will take the range from 1 to, let's say, 30, right? So here it runs from 1 to 30, isn't it? 21 is also included in 130, and 1 to 30 now I further break up as 1 to 10, 11 to 20, and 21 to 30. But you see, these are called intervals, class intervals. Okay, each of these is called class interval. So 1 to 10 is a class interval, 11 to 20 is a class interval, 21 to 30 is a class interval. Okay, but you see that the number of class intervals are very few, only 3 class intervals here, right? Which will not, I mean, 3 class intervals is too few, right? So what you do here is you make it a little more. Okay, you make it 6. So what I do is I take from 1 to 5, then 6 to 10, and then 11 to 15, and then 16 to 20, and then 21 to 25. This is a better form of representation, isn't it? Because the class intervals are smaller and you're taking more class intervals. How many class intervals in this? There are 5 class intervals, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So
Ma'am, 20,
hmm,
25 to 30 is not there.
25 to the, why would I not take 26 to 30? Because the highest is 22. I can classify 22 here, isn't it? So I don't need to go beyond 25. Clear?
Okay, sir.
That is why. So what I do is I choose at least 5. 3 class intervals is too few. So therefore 5 class intervals would be good enough for me. So that is what I do is I choose these class intervals. Okay. So what I do is once I choose this class interval, this is all this work I'm going to do in rough. Okay. So once I choose these class intervals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my table. Okay. In which I'm going to do my tally marks. Okay. This table I'm going to make, you're going to draw with a scale. Okay, the first column of this table will be class intervals. Class intervals. Okay. Second, the name of the second column will be tally marks. That is, you want to count. Okay. And the third will be frequency. Okay. Yes. This is the kind of table that you're in. And what are the class intervals that we agreed upon? 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, and finally 21 to 25. This is what we agreed upon, these class intervals. At least 5 is good enough. 3 is very few. And you're going to draw for your totals here. Okay. Now we are going to proceed to the next part, which is tally marks. Okay. Look at the first data, all this data. The first data here is 13, right? 13, which under which one will it be classified? Between 11 to 15. So you give a mark here. Okay. A stroke here. That means this 13 has been taken care of. What is the next data? 6. So 6 falls in which category? 6 to 10. So you give a mark here. Okay. Next data is 12. So 12 falls within this category. So you give this mark here. Okay. And you proceed with this. The next is 9. 9 falls here. So you give a mark here. Next is 11. 11 falls here. So you give a mark here. Next is 14. 14 also falls here. So you give a stroke here. Next is 2. 2 falls here. So you give a stroke here. Okay. 8. 8 falls here. So you give a stroke here. 18. 18 falls here. So you give a stroke here. 16. 16 falls again in this. So you give a stroke here. 9. 9 falls here. So you give a stroke here. 13. 13 falls between 11 to 15. Now, because we have got already 4 strokes, for the next stroke that we give, we are going to cross this out. That means this is another stroke so that I can count in groups of 5. Okay. So this means that I now have 5 strokes. Okay. Next is 17. 17 falls here. 11. 11 again falls here. Now we are going to, for the 6th stroke, we are going to give a different stroke. Okay. Next is 19. 19 falls here. So I'm going to give a stroke here. 6. 6 falls here. So now I already have 4 strokes. So I'm going to cross out these 4 strokes so that I can count 5. Next is 7. 7 I'm going to give a stroke here to count a different number for a different group of strokes. Okay. Next 12. 12 is falls here. So I'll give a stroke here. 22. 22 falls here. So I'll give a stroke here. 21 falls here. I'll give a stroke here. 18. 18 falls here. So I already have 4 strokes. So I'm going to cancel this. This is 18. Okay. Next is 1. 1 falls here. So another stroke here. 8 falls here. So I'll give a stroke here. 12. So 1 stroke here. And 18. 1 stroke here. And that takes care of all the data that is given. Now I'm going to count. Now if you see 1 to 5, how many strokes are there? 2. So the frequency is 2. Okay. So between 1 to 5, whatever numbers or observation that you are getting, how many times does it occur? It occurs twice. That is why the frequency is 2. From 6 to 10, whatever observation occur between 6 to 10, how many times does it occur? You have 5 strokes here and 2 strokes here. So 5 plus 2, 7. Are we clear? Or any question till this part? Any question till this part?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So
Yes.
this is the way we count our strokes, okay, or the tallies. Now what we do is we total the frequency. Okay, so if you total this frequency, you're going to get 25. Okay, this we call as, this we normally represent by capital N. Okay, or we sometimes represent this as, if we represent this by F, we also sometimes call this as summation F. Okay, just remember this for the time being. Okay, either N or summation F. Now 25 that you have got, now how to check whether you have done it correctly or not, whether you have not skipped any particular observation. See, you're getting the total of frequency is 25, right? So you count all these observations. All these observations that are there, you count. If you are getting 25, then you have not skipped any observation. If you are not getting 25, that means you must have skipped, or maybe you have written it doubly, some observation. Clear with this? Till
Yes,
this
sir.
part, is it clear how to check whether you have, how to check the data? Fine. So this is what we call our frequency distribution. Now what we do is this, we draw this without the tally marks. Okay. This we draw it horizontally without the tally marks. And this will become our frequency distribution table. So you have your class intervals. And you have frequency. Okay. So you have 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 20 to 25. And if you want, you can make another column here, another table here for the total. You can do this also, or you can skip the total also, no problem. If you have the tally marks table, you can skip that also. So now you write down the frequencies. 1 to 5, your frequency is 2. Next is 7. Next is 8. Next is 6. Next is 2. And your total is 25. This, okay, this is called a frequency distribution table. This is called a frequency distribution table. Okay. So first part of the question is answered. What is the question? Construct a frequency distribution using find the from the frequency distribution. Okay, now the question is not answered. There is something that you must know. Okay, you see the word class boundaries here. Now I'm going to define class boundaries and class limits. So you have class limits. There are two types of class intervals. Okay, let me classify here class intervals. You see these are class intervals 1 to 5, 6 to 10. These are of two types. One is called the class limits. Okay, and class limits, you can have intervals like this 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, and so on. And the other one is called class boundaries. This is the most important one, class boundaries. In under this category, you can have intervals like 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and so on. What is the difference between these two? Can you tell me what is the difference between these two, class limits and class boundaries, from observation? Anyone?
Sir, can I?
Go ahead.
So in class limits, we are taking it from 1, while in class boundaries, we're taking the numbers or the distributions from 0.
No, not only that, not you can have class boundaries even from non-zero numbers. But what the greatest difference that you see here is that these two, if you see, are not overlapping, right? This ends with 10 and then start with 11, isn't it? Right? This starts with 5 and then again this starts with 6. But what do you see here? These two are overlapping, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
These two are overlapping. So such overlapping intervals are called class boundaries. Okay. All these are overlapping. But here these are non-overlapping. Okay. So the class intervals in which you have non-overlapping class intervals are called class limits. The overlapping class intervals are called class boundaries. Okay. Class boundaries is very important, but the point is class limits can be converted to class boundaries. Now we shall answer the first part of our question. Now you see the question here is construct the corresponding frequency distribution table with class boundaries. Now if you see, this frequency distribution table contains what? What are these? Right? These are, what are these? These are
Class limits.
class limits, right? Now we are going to convert this to class boundaries. How do we convert these to class boundaries? Again, we'll draw this table. Now you, instead of class intervals, you'll write class boundaries here, because you are going to convert class limits to class boundaries. These are in brackets, you can write class limits. Okay, now that you know the definition of limits. Now we are going to write here class boundaries, and here we are going to write frequency. How do you convert class limits to class boundaries? See, uh, you take the highest class interval, highest value of class interval here. This is called the upper limit, okay, of the first one. And you take this, the lower limit of the next class. What is the difference between these two? 6 minus 5, isn't it? 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. And if you divide this by 2, how much do you get? Half. 6 minus 5 by 2. Similarly, you can take 10 minus 11 also, or 11 minus 10 also. Or you can take 16 minus 15 also. Or you can take, this should be 21. You can take 21 minus 20 also. Right? Whatever that you take, you will all get 1. You divide that 1 by 2. So how much are you getting? Half. Right? Whatever difference that you take, that difference you divide by 2. Understood? Did you understand what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
trying to say? You take the difference of any of these. You take the difference of any of these. What is the difference? In all the cases, the difference is 1, right? And you then divide 1 by 2. So you get half. So what you do now, because half is nothing but 0.5. This 0.5 is called the adjustment factor. Okay. Whether you remember the name or not, it does not matter. Okay. But the point is, you take the difference and divide it by 2. That is the uh, something that you will have to do. And now what you do is, this 0.5 adjustment factor that you are getting from 1, you subtract 0.5. So 1 minus 0.5, how much do you get? 0.5. You write 0.5 here. Till, and this 0.5, you add to this 5 plus 0.5. So how much do you get? 5.5. Right? For the next class limit, from 6, you subtract 6 minus 0.5. So how much do you get? 5.5. So the next one will start from 5.5 till, and from this you add 0.5 to 10. So 10 plus 0.5. So you get 10.5. Right? You understand what I'm doing? Did you understand what I did? Anyone who could
Yes,
not
sir.
follow? Okay. Anyone who could not follow? Similarly, from 11. From 11, you subtract 0.5 to get 10.5. So you write 10.5. And then to this 15, you add 0.5. So you get 15.5. And similarly for the last one also, from 21, you subtract 0.5, you get 20.5. Sorry, it's not from 21. How many have I drawn? I've drawn only 4 here. This should be 5. Okay. So next one is 16 to 20. So from 16, you subtract 5. So 16 minus 0.5 is 15.5. And then to 20, you have 16 to 20. To this 20, you add 0.5. You get 20.5. And similarly, next one, last one, you have 20.5 to 25.5. And last one, you can write your total here. And now you write down the frequencies: 27862, 27862, and your total is 25. So you will write here, this is the required frequency distribution table with class boundaries. Have I made myself clear? Or any question you have related to this? No question? So I assume it's clear. I can proceed to the next part. I can proceed to the next
Yes,
part
sir.
then. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the next part is write down the class mark. Class mark is also called as the mid values and the cumulative frequency of each class. Okay. So in order to write the class mark and the cumulative frequency of each class, what you do is you construct the following table. So for number 2, you construct this table. 3 columns you make. Okay. Because you have to write for each class. In the sorry. The first column will be for class boundaries. Okay, the next column will be for, because you have to calculate class mark, we'll write class mark, also called as the mid values. Okay, and this will be for your cumulative frequency. Okay, before cumulative frequency, also construct a column for frequency, and then you can write cumulative frequency. This is your frequency, and this will be your cumulative frequency. This is written as F, and this is sometimes abbreviated as CF. Okay, and you write all the class boundaries here. So first class boundary you have 0.5 to 5.5, and what is the corresponding frequency? 2. Next 5.5 to 10.5, corresponding frequency 7. 15.5, sorry, 10.5 to 15.5, corresponding frequency is 8. 15.5 to 20.5, corresponding frequency is 6. And finally you have 20.5 to 25.5, and the corresponding frequency is 2. Okay, you have to, now if you see the question says write down the class mark and the cumulative frequency of each. So that is why these 2 columns are left blank. Now I'm going to calculate the class mark and the cumulative frequency for each. Now class mark, how do you calculate? This is called the lower class boundary, and this is called the upper class boundary. You take the total of these two, 0.5 plus 5.5, and you divide it by 2. So how much do you get? 3. For the next one also, you do the same, 5.5 plus 10.5 divided by 2, which you are getting as 16 by 2, which is 8. The next one is 10.5 plus 15.5 divided by 2, which you will get as the 13. Next is 15.5 plus 20.5 divided by 2, which you get as 18. And finally 20.5 plus 25.5 divided by 2, which you get as 23. Are we clear with mid values, class mark, or any question?
No, sir, no question.
Okay. Now only column left is cumulative frequency for each class. How do you calculate the cumulative frequency? In order to calculate the cumulative frequency, you must see the frequency of each class. Frequency of the first class here is 2. So you write 2 here, right? Next frequency is 7. So with this 2, you add 7. We get 2 plus 7 is equal to 9, right? Fine. Now you get with 9. Now you add these 3. So you have 2 plus 7 plus 8. Or you can also write 9 plus 8, right? Which is 17. Now you add the next 4 for the next cumulative frequency. This is 2 plus 7 plus 8 plus 6. Or you can also write this as 17 plus 6, which is equal to 23, right? And for the final one, you add all the 5. That means 2 plus 7 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2, which is equal to, or you can also write this as 23 plus 2, which is equal to 25. Clear? Cumulative frequency or any question on this?
No, sir.
Cumulative
No, sir.
frequency is clear. So this was easy enough, right? Cumulative frequency and class mark. Remember these because we'll be dealing with all this later on. Okay. And you have finally number 3, question number 3. So we have finished question number 2 also. Write down the class mark and the cumulative frequency of each class. And finally, you have class width. This is a one-line problem. Class width is class width of each class. You have to look at the class boundaries for each class. What is the difference of these two? 5.5 minus 0.5, which is 5. That is the class width. Or you can also take the next one, 10.5 minus 5.5. Or you can also take the next one. Sorry, this was 5.5 minus 0.5. 10 point. Yes, you can also take 15.5 minus. That means you have to take the difference of these two, or any of these two. Okay, 15.5 minus 10.5, or 20.5 minus 15.5, or 25.5 minus 20.5. Any of the, but whatever difference you take, class width will be the same for each, which is 5. Okay. Any question, or I'll stop here.